What is up there, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So on this one, I wanted to go over a topic that is talked about constantly on a day-to-day basis, especially throughout like Facebook and whatnot, where basically, the question is, are thumbnails important when it comes to the Amazon influencer program? Do they matter? Should I take my time editing my thumbnails and just, all this and that, right? Now, before we get started, be sure to smash that like button down below. Show some support for your boy over here for giving y'all this free knowledge. Be sure to leave a comment down there below, if I missed anything in the video, if you have your own 2 cents. And also be sure to hit that subscribe button so you stay notified on more videos regarding the Amazon influencer program, TikTok shop affiliate, and really just anything related with content uploading to like YouTube and just everything else in between. So this is a topic that everybody, just constantly asks is, does the thumbnail actually matter when it comes to the Amazon influencer program? Because you'll hear people from both sides saying, hey, it doesn't matter. I only focus on high value tasks or whatever in the program. Just make more videos. And then you'll have the opposite side saying, yes, they do matter. People need to see what type of thumbnail they want to click and just, all this and that. Now, before I add my own 2 cents, I'm just going to say and, share a link down there that Fizz, the owner of, the Oink extension, he actually did a whole video on this. He actually took real data and tested it for like 30 days, I believe. And, whether the thumbnails made a difference on his commissions or somebody else's commissions. I forgot how the whole video actually went. So, but like I said, I'll leave a link down there and you guys can go check it out for yourself. But at the end of the video, he said that having a certain thumbnail, customizing it, did make a difference when it came to the commissions. So, just gonna say, I've not seen anybody else do this type of thing where they've pulled actual data and kind of compared it. And for someone to do it and actually kind of prove that, well, yeah, a lot of you may disagree with that, but the data speaks for itself. So in short form, it looks like thumbnails do make a difference. And look, my 2 cents. Going into 2026, going into this program where it's more saturated, there's more competition, and it's getting a little bit tougher, I guess you could say. I will add that, honestly, I do think thumbnails will make a more difference now in 2026 than it did last year. Don't get me wrong. You can still make commissions without, editing your thumbnails in any way. You can just leave it on the default if you want. I mean, as long as your video quality is still good, you should be able to still make commissions. Now, look. But that's the thing too, right? Is that when customers are shopping, they're trying to look on these videos, you got to think, the first thing that they're going to want to see is, they're going to see your thumbnails, right? They're going to see your thumbnails on these listings and they're going to decide, okay, hey, who's actually making a thumbnail that looks clickable, okay? Because honestly, even when I go and shop for stuff now, I literally go based on the thumbnail myself, okay? So, I know that's a biased opinion right there because I do that, but, you'd be surprised, okay? And when I see someone that actually took the time to make a, nothing too crazy, just something that's eye-catching, I will actually click on that thumbnail versus somebody just showing like, I don't know, the palm of their hand or something like that. Because to me, I'm just like, that's probably going to be a very low quality video. And that's the thing too, is that you kind of, you're appearing as someone who probably doesn't take the time to make quality videos, reviewing some of these things. So you might not actually get as many clicks. I'm not saying that you won't make commissions, you will still make commissions, but you probably could make more commissions if you make a proper thumbnail that's going to lead to people watching your video and then actually buying the product, okay? Now again, because I do it doesn't mean that everybody does it. Everybody's different in their own way, but going into 2026, I think, editing your thumbnail a bit will make a difference going forward because you just got to do something to stand out, whether it's work on your title, the video quality, the thumbnail. Every little detail at this point is going to matter more in the future. And if you just kind of leave it on default, then you're really not being any different from everyone else, right? Like you're just doing the same thing as everyone else, and then you're going to get the same result as everyone else. Whereas, if you tweak your thumbnail a little bit, hey, it's better than nothing. I'm not saying you have to, but I personally would. Now, when it comes to creating thumbnails themselves, if you don't want to take the time to actually create them, hassle with that, because I suck at thumbnails. I do not like making thumbnails. I've tried it before in the past. Took a lot of time, very tedious, fucking annoying. Like, I just don't like to deal with it. Now, before I would use CapCut to just add like an arrow and just a quick wording and whatnot. But if you're actually using the Oink extension, which by the way, there is a link down there in the description below. Be sure to check it out and sign up. There is I believe a 10% discount code. So use that code and use that link so you can get that code discount. And yes, I do make a small, commission from it, but it's nothing crazy, okay? It's just to support your boy. Or don't use the link, but you won't save any money either, all right? But if you use the Oink extension and you're trying to upload your videos, there is actually an option on the bottom left of, your dashboard when you have this option. And you can actually upload whatever pre-image of, the product, the thumbnail, and it'll automatically add some wording, arrows. It has different templates that you'll be able to see, and you can just use one of those. That's actually what I've been using now moving forward with my videos, is just using one of those templates instead of me editing on CapCut. So it made it much easier, much faster, and they look pretty nice too. So, you know, if you just don't want to edit them whatsoever, I would advise at least using one of those options, because it is better than nothing, okay? And that is one thing too, is that, you know, yes, I do agree that you probably should be, you know, editing your thumbnails, but do not waste time doing this either, okay? Just use the Oink extension, add it, takes like a quick second, and literally just, you know, use one of those. Don't waste like 5, 10, 20 minutes trying to edit the perfect thumbnail for every single product. That is a waste of time. Don't be doing that. I'd much rather you just upload the video at that point if you're gonna spend that much time doing that. Like, just don't fucking do that shit, all right? It's a waste of time. This is not a YouTube channel, okay? You do not need to be some high-tech quality thumbnail or anything. Just something simple where it stands out. And if you don't want to use any type of, you know, templates and whatnot, then just make the pre-image, you know, something eye-catching, like point at the product, you know, show what the issue is. Maybe there's a mess, you know, show the mess or something like that. Like, just show something on the thumbnail that's going to stand out, instead of just, oh, hey, here's the product. Like, no fucking shit, bro. Of course there's the product. Show me what, you know, what it does, right? Like, come on now. But like I said though, at the end of the day, Rob did that one video. Go watch that. I'll link it down there, and you'll see that he actually proved it. All right. So, but just my 2 cents. And for those of you who don't want to use thumbnails, you've never done them, hey, good for you. I mean, as long as you're making some money, I mean, it is what it is. But I'm just saying, I do believe that thumbnails going forward will make a slight difference. So it will lead to more money, at least in my opinion. But at the end of the day, do what you guys do. Just trying to give you guys my advice, my tips on, you know, all this and that. But with that being said, guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Again, be sure to hit that subscribe, stay notified, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.